Welcome to the Metaphysical Manifesting Podcast with intuitive light worker, national speaker, metaphysical teacher, and best-selling author Lisa Kessler. What is it you want to manifest? Are you looking to increase your income, change careers? Maybe you want to manifest a new home or a new car. Are you ready to bring love into your life? You have come to the right place.
Hello, everyone. I'm glad you're here today. I wanted to talk to you about getting signs from the universe and how they can help you in your, not only your manifesting journey, but just in your life in general. Because once you start recognizing them and seeing them, then you can take the next step and start taking action. So, what do I mean? What is a sign or a synchronicity? Well, I'll give you one. I decided this would be my podcast subject, and I wrote out some notes, and when I went to hit record, the time was 444, which is an angel number. And I thought, okay, so the universe wants me to talk about this. That would be a sign. Synchronicities can be when you walk in somewhere and you meet just the person that you needed to meet. Or another example would be one of my clients heard one of my podcasts. That was how she found me. And she told me that the funny thing was she has a long commute and she usually listened to music, but she thought, I want to manifest some change in my life. So I'm going to just search for a manifesting podcast, and mine happened to come up, and she heard the manifesting podcast, which happened to be about manifesting tune-ups, and she went ahead and ordered one, and I sent her video, and she got right back to me and said, "Oh my gosh, my crown chakra is blocked. How come I didn't realize it?" And all of those things, the universe is just energy. So her spirit guide and angels knew exactly what she needed. They found exactly the podcast where I was talking about, figuring out why isn't my manifesting working correctly and getting a tune-up video. And then when I pulled cards and gave her channeled reading, they were talking about your crown chakra, which was exactly what she needed to hear. That synchronicity that particular podcast showed up at just that moment, that isn't coincidence. It is a wink from the universe. It is a synchronicity that gets you back on your path. So signs are similar. Signs are maybe a little bit smaller, like what I told you at the beginning. When I went to hit the record button, I noticed it was 444. But signs can be encouragement from the universe. But the trick is to be present. So a sign can be angel numbers. Like I mentioned, the time was 444. It can be if you keep looking at your clock right at 11:11, that's a big angel number. It can be finding a feather where you don't expect it. I was with a client at the Sedona Manifest Your Best Life retreat, and we were going to pick up a rental car, and we walked up to this escalator. There was no one else around. We were at the Phoenix airport, and we were talking about her husband who had crossed over. And as we walk up to the escalator, a penny flies out and hits her foot. And I thought that she must have dropped it. And she looked at me, and I looked at her, and both of us went, "We don't have any change." And she picked up that penny and said, "Well, hi, Rick." So those are some really definite signs from the universe when it's just a little nudge to let us know that we're part of something bigger. We're right where we're supposed to be. We're not alone. We're being guided. But the trick is to be present so that you don't miss those kind of things. When you get an intuitive gut feeling to go to the right instead of the left, listen, because a lot of times it will bring you to exactly what you needed to find, to meet the right person at just the right time. Sometimes it can be to lift your spirits, right? If you're feeling down. The day that my grandmother transitioned, she was almost 99. She could not figure out why she was still here. Her mind was still there. She used to tell me, "I'm past my Best Buy date," like on the milk cartons. And anyway, the day that she finally transitioned, my uncle called me and let me know. And I walked out with my dog and immediately found a white feather right on our walkway. And my grandmother used to always say, I just want to fly away. And when I got that feather, I thought, well, there you are. You're flying. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know that, you're free. So those kind of signs can bring comfort. They can bring healing. And so how do you recognize them? You really need to stay present, like I was talking about. And what I mean is when you are, like, say, walking the dog, like I was, maybe put your phone in your pocket and be really present about which animals you see, because animals can be signs. Also, the feather, the penny, all of those things are moments that the universe is trying to connect with you, but you have to be present to notice, right? And then when you're present, you also need to be intuitive enough to believe it, because any of us can talk ourselves out of it, right? The reason that you're getting a sign isn't to talk you out of it. It is to encourage you or get you back in the flow, right, with the universe. So be present and watch for them. Then what you can do with them is start tracking them, journal about it. How often, have you had a penny fly at your foot? Those kind of things, because what you can do is kind of decipher what message is the universe giving me, because oftentimes our spirit guides and angels and those who have crossed over, we can't hear them with our ears. We hear them with our spirits. So when you see those signs, sometimes it's not obvious right away what this means. And so I'm going to use an example because tarot cards are a big part of my manifesting. And sometimes I will have an intention and I will pull a card and I will look at it and go, what? Because to me, the card doesn't make any sense for what my intention was. And I always just put a question mark next to it. And I kid you not, within an hour or two, it becomes clear, because sometimes the universe is giving you a sign right before something happens. So don't forget, write them down. Don't talk yourself out of it, because sometimes they're giving you a tiny bit of future sight, right? Because I always figure out that tarot card and I'm like, okay, universe, I see you, right? So don't be afraid if it doesn't make sense right at the moment. Write it down, pick up that feather and put it on your desk. You will get the message. You will figure it out. So then what do you do with it? If you have a hard, sign where you're like, I don't know what this means, you can be patient, like I was just suggesting, and wait. If you have a pendulum that you have dedicated to one of your spirit guides, you can use your pendulum and ask a few questions to get a little extra validation. You can meditate and connect with your higher self, your universe, guides, angels. Ask them, what does this sign mean? And then when you get the answer, trust it and act on it, right? That is why the sign came through for you. So, some pitfalls to look out for is obsessively looking for signs in everything. What happens to that is you start overanalyzing everything. And that isn't what the sign was for. The sign was for encouragement. It wasn't for you to go hunting down pennies, as an example. Or like when I found that feather, I did not immediately, as I'm walking my dog, look for more feathers. I got the sign, I got the message, I was very grateful, and that's all you need to do. Do not get yourself in that pitfall of constantly seeking this validation, because we're here in this incarnation, in this lifetime, to not only manifest your best life, but to learn and grow. And how can you do that if you're constantly asking the universe to tell you what to do? We were blessed with free will. We're supposed to decide, right? So don't fall into that pitfall. Signs and synchronicities are gifts. They are not an instruction manual for how to live your life, if that makes sense. So, what does all of this have to do with manifesting, Lisa? Well, manifesting is long term. Usually it is a long journey. And sometimes if we're manifesting something large, like say you decide that you would like to manifest a new home and you need to save up $20,000. Let's just throw that number out. And it's going to take you a while to do that. But the universe knows what you need and what if there is another income stream that is coming. And if you don't act on it, you'll miss out, right? So you might get a sign or a synchronicity where you meet someone, right? That is how they work when you are manifesting. Because again, we don't hear the universe with our ears, we hear it with our spirit. So when you get a sign, it is for you to take action on. Even if all the sign is to fill you with gratitude, like when I found that feather for my grandmother, as soon as you have gratitude, it raises your vibration to attract more blessings, right? That is how signs and synchronicities can just make your manifesting journey so beautiful. So I'm going to challenge you to watch for signs. Be really present when you're walking around outside or when you're cooking in your kitchen and glance at your clock and it says 11:11. Pay attention to how often the universe is trying to tell you that you are not alone, that you are so loved, and you are exactly right where you're supposed to be. I think you'll be surprised how often. And that will keep your spirits and your vibration up so that whatever challenges get in your way, you are ready to tackle them. All right. So if you have some cool stories about the signs and synchronicities, please, in the show notes down below, there is a link to ask a question or share a success story. I would love to hear about your signs that happen. So click that link and send me an email. And I'm sending you many blessings. And I hope that you find many signs from the universe. You deserve your dreams.
Thanks for listening to the Metaphysical Manifesting Podcast with Lisa Kessler. If you have questions or comments, or if you'd like to work with Lisa to manifest your dreams, you can connect with her through her website at metaphysicalmanifesting.net. That's also where you can claim your free weekly tarot reading and manifesting tips. Make sure you subscribe or follow the Metaphysical Manifesting Podcast on your favorite podcasting site so you never miss another episode. As Lisa likes to say, we can make magic when we bring the universe into the equation. Remember, you don't have to do it alone. If you'd like more information about Lisa, Metaphysical Manifestation Mentorship, or the Manifesting Magic Mastermind, visit her website at metaphysicalmanifesting.net.